Okay, so here you can write the output for state 0. You can write either 0 0 or 1 0 also. 0 0 or 1 0. Why 1 0? Even if it is there in this state C, and from here when it will make transition to stable state A, anyhow it is going to achieve the output 0 0. So we can have a 1 0 also here. Okay, and okay, this 1 dash. How did we write this 1 dash? Say it was there for this entry. With the help of this modified this transition diagram, we know that transition from C to D, it is occurring via B. Because C, when say initially if it was stable in state say C for input 1 1, now say input change to say 1 0, so where will it go? It will go to C to B and from then D. So that's why transition from state C to D, it is occurring via state B. Okay, so what is output of state C? That is 1 0. Output of state B, it is 0 1. Output of state D, that is 1 1. Okay, so if you notice here again on Z2, Z2 is going momentarily 0, and then again it is coming at logic level 1. So it means this 0, this was our unstable state, so this is giving me a low going glitch. It was supposed to maintain the logic level 1, but as it is passing through the unstable state, it is giving me a glitch, a low glitch. So what I can do? So if I can fix my Z2 at 1 and dash, because my Z1 it is set to change, right? It is 1 0, ultimately it has to change. It has to make a transition from 0 to 1. Okay, so that's why the 0 1 I can mark as a dash, but Z2 I want fixed. I do not want any glitch here, so that's why this one I have fixed. So that's why when it will come here from C to B, so my output will be 1 dash.
Sir, in case of its present state C,
what?
Sir, in case of present state C and it is going to present next state A, how it is giving 0 0 and 1 0, how it is giving the output as 1 0, because stable state is A only, na?
Yes, stable state is there. So
it should give only 0 0. There is no intermediate state in between.
What I'm saying, say it is going from C to the A. Okay. Yes. If it's going from C to A, so it might be possible that during the transition, see this, what is the final output here? A output is 0 0.
0 0.
Right? And it is making transition from 1 0 to 0 0. And like you tell me this thing, like will it affect your functionality if you are getting the desired output 0 0 before reaching to the state A or after reaching to the state A?
No sir, no functionality change.
No function. So that's what I'm trying to say, that if from for 1 0, if it remains 1 0 till it is in this unstable state A, so it is okay. But anyhow from here it will move stable state A, where it will achieve the desired output 0 0. Whether that is achieved earlier or later, it is not going to affect your functionality.
Okay sir.
Fine. So this C is done for us. Okay. For D, the stable is this single state only, that is 1 1. So we have written 1 1 here. This 0 dash we have already discussed. Okay, so from A, so again here also you can write either 0 0 or 1 1, because anyhow what is this transition? It is stable state transition from D to A, right? D to A. Whether this 0 0 is achieved before achieving state A or after achieving state A, it is not going to make any difference. So that's why it can be 0 0 or 1 1. Okay, and now look at this case, this 0 0 case. Says it was stable in state D. Okay, now it will make transition to state B. Say earlier it was stable here. It was stable here in the state D, and now say input change to 0 0. Input change to 0 0. So where will it make the transition? It will make the transition to B. So in that case also your output, it can be either 1 1 or what is the output of state B? 0 1. So because output can be anything, if they have to write it combinedly, so that's why they have written in the place of these two values, they have written -1 or -0. Did you get this?
Yes, sir.
Let me see first of all how many students are there. Okay, so we are done with this example. Next example is where we do not have any unspecified state, but still we want a race-free state assignment. Say this, your original table, say if it is given, if this original table, say it is given, okay, and then what will be your steps? If you have to do the assignments, race means state assignment, if you have to do, first of all, you need to draw the relabeled flow table. So this flow table is given to you, original flow table, and then you will do the numbering, the relabeled flow diagram. So you will start with rows. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I'm not going to explain you this again because in the last class also and today morning also I have explained it 2-3 times. Okay, so how am I doing the numbering? So this numbering I have done, and this will also be 1, 5, 2, this will be 3, 2, 6, 7, and you can also do the number because you know the procedure. Okay, now read this statement. It is saying it may be impossible to find a race-free state assignment using log n base 2 state variables for a flow table that has n rows. Say in our example, this is what? N is 4. So what will be this? What will be the value of log n base 2 where n is 4?
2.
So it will be 2. So what does this indicate? This indicates that if we are using only two state variables means small y2, small y1, means if we are using only two state variables, then it may be impossible to have a race-free state assignment. It means we in order to get a race-free state assignment, we need to increase the number of state variables. Okay, so first of all, based on this your relabeled flow table, this transition diagram has been drawn. Okay, and whatever you do, you can take any combination. So, but in this case, you won't be able to remove your diagonals. Okay, so in this case, removal of diagonal is not possible until and unless you increase your number of state variables. Okay, now let's use extra state variable, say y3. Now let's say I'm denoting A with say 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then now I know that if I want to do a race-free state assignment, what should be the Hamming distance to the adjacent code? It should be 1. So let's say, see, A, B, C, D. B, C, D, they are the adjacent states to state A, because A, from A, you can all are adjacent state B, C, D. Yes or no? Check the table. From A, can you go to B? Yes. So it means B is my adjacent state. Can you go to C? Yes. C is the adjacent state to state A. Can I go to D? No. I cannot go from A to D, but I can go from D to A. Check the row of D. It means B, C, D states, they are adjacent to state A. Okay, and I know that in order to begin the exercise of having a race-free state assignment, all adjacent states, they should be at a Hamming distance of 1. So if I'm starting with A, having code 0, 0, 0, can I give 0, 0, 1 to B? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then let's say, let me give 0, 1, 0 to C and say 1, 0, 0 to say D. So now all the transition between A to B, A to C and A to D or D to A, they will be race free because they are involving only their transition, it involves change of single bit only.
C to D में दो bit change हो रहे हैं.
What I'm saying, transition only from A to B and A to C and A to D or D to A. I have not talked about transition of C to D.
Okay.
So A to B is race free, A to C is race free, and D to A it is race free. But as he has pointed out, transition from B to C and C to D and B to D, all other remaining like transitions, they are not race free. Okay, some of them, they are having races in their transitions. Okay, so what are the paths which are like race free? It is this path, and this path. They are my race free paths as per the assignment given, assignment done. Okay, but if I want to make them race free, it is not possible. So what I can do, I can include some extra states. Extra states will be where I will include here, like all on the remaining paths. Say for example, I've used this extra state E on this BD path. Okay, extra state F here, extra state F and extra state G. Okay, and now with the help of them, I will try to see like whether I can do the race-free state assignment or not. Okay, so first of all, I need to redraw my table. Since I have, okay, the numbers will remain same. Okay, so if I have used any intermediate state or extra state in between the path, so whatever will be the numbers on the edges of the transition diagram will be the same. Okay, so 3, 3, so it will be say 7, 7 and 5, 8, 5, 8. Okay, now I need to modify my original table. So this was my original table, right? So row A is fine. Okay, so from A all the transitions they were race free. In the path from, okay, AB is also fine. From B to D, which state I have inserted? I have inserted state E. Okay, so from here it will be state E. Okay, now C to B. C to B. Okay, which state I have inserted from C to B? F. So here it will be F. Here I have to write F. Okay, then from C to D, between C and D, which state I have inserted? G. So I'll write G here. Okay, then D to A, there was no race. We have already discussed. So D to A, there is no race. And but between D to C, what is the state? Extra state, that is G. So it will be G here. Is it fine up to here?
Yes, sir.
So after that, since we have added 3 additional state E, F, G, okay, so now to them also we need to include in a modified this flow table. Okay, so let's write the entries for E. If my present state is E, so from where it can reached? It will be reached only when it is stable in state, say B, and when it is making transition to D under this. Can E state be reached from any other path? No. E will be, you will be there in state E only if transition is occurring from B to D. Okay, and that also under this input condition. When say 1 1 is changed to 1 0 or 0 1 is changed to 1 0. Okay, so what will be the next state? Because we are going from B to E and then D. Okay, so what will be the next state of E for is this input combination? It will be D. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
अगेन सर BED वाला एक बार फिर से बता दिए सर.
Say this E path, you have to look in your transition diagram that which transition is causing you to reach in state E. It will be either B to D only, or you can check these entries. In which of these column E is appearing? Say it is only this. Okay, it means E will be reached only when transition is made from B to D.
Yes, sir.
B to D, and that will occur only for this input combination, only for when input is 1 0. It will occur only when input is 1 0, then only this you will reach in state E. And once you reach in state E, so what will be your next state? It will be D, because I have to go to D. It will be state D. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Clear? Now let's look at the output entries now. Output entries B, in the state B, my output is 0, 1. Okay. And in the D, it is 1, 1. Right? It means if I do not want any glitch, so it will be, what will be my Z1? Z1 will be 1.
Yes, sir.
And my Z2 which will be dash.
There's one specific.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's look at F. So from where you can reach to F? Okay, F can be reached only when transition is made from C to B. See this? Transition from C to B. And only when this input is there. Okay, only when input is 0, 1, then only this F state can be reached. And when the F state is reached, what will be the next state? It will be B. It is going this way. Okay, so next state here for this input combination, it will be B, and rest all will be unspecified. Why unspecified? Because F is my totally unstable state and it cannot be reached from any other point. Okay, so that's why my next state entry for this input combination, it will be B. And now let's check the output. Say it is making from 1 0 to 0 1. Okay, so here though you can write 1 0 or 0 1, both are okay. Okay, either you write 1 0 or 0 1, both will be fine.
But we cannot take both are unspecified.
No.
Okay, sir.
Okay, either you can write 0 1 or 1 0, because as I had discussed just before, that whether the output is achieved before achieving the state or after achieving the state, it will not affect your functionality. Okay, so that is F. So about G, so from where the G state can be reached? G state can be reached either when transition is made from C to D or D to C. Check the table. When C to D, say C to D transition is also possible and D to C transition is also possible. Like we will encounter the state G, we will encounter both state, state G for both transition in both directions. Whenever we are making transition from D to C, then also this G will appear, and when we are making from C to D, then also G means the transition path must include the this unstable state G. Okay, so that's why this will be G. This will be state D, because C, G, and then D. Say I was stable in state 1, 0. My input changed to 1, 1. So first it will go to G, and once it is there in state G, then where will it go? It will go to state D, because ultimately where it has to go? It has to go to state D. Okay, so it will be D here. And now let's check this. If say it is stable in state 1, 0, and say if it input changes to 0, 0. So where will it go? It will go to state G. Okay, and from G, where will it go? It will go to state C. Okay, so that's why the C is written. Now let's check the output. The C output is, say it is 1, 0. Okay, and the D output is what? 1, 1. So what will be the output? 1 dash. Okay, now notice this example and compare it with the previous example. Here, what kind of FSM is this? Like when I modified my table, so ultimately, what kind of FSM realization is possible? Is this Moore style or Mealy style?
Moore.
It is Moore. But in the previous case, when we were discussing this example, here it was Mealy.
Mealy.
The reason was, can you guess the reason?
So output depends on input conditions too, in the case of Mealy.
Yes, but can you elaborate?
Since in Mealy case, the output depends on the present state and the input conditions too. But in the case of Moore only, the state is affected. The output is affected by state only.
That's theoretically is fine, but in the context of these examples, the thing is, here, whatever transition are taking place in this table, whatever transitions are taking place, they are taking place via a state which is a stable state, right? But only for that transition path it is momentarily unstable. Say C to B to D. Consider this. Actually it is a stable state, right? Actually it is a stable state, but when it is in this transition flow, then the B will be unstable. But in this case, transition from B to C or C to B is via a unstable state F, which is unspecified. We have inserted an additional state which is not having any of its set output. All the transition here, say C to B to D, B is set to produce some output, okay, because it is a stable state. Okay, whenever the FSM will find itself in the state B, it will produce the output corresponding to that state. Okay, but in this case, we are passing through, say, unstable state and unspecified, which are unspecified also. Okay, so that's why in these examples, we are still able to preserve Moore style. Okay.
So that means these are two different types of methods to state assignment. This is the second method that we have discussed.
Yes, this is the second method, but say for example, in example 1, you had a scope to exploit this unspecified state.
Yes, sir.
You had the option to exploit this, but in this case, so that's why your state assignment was done in this way. But in this particular example, all the entries were specified. All the entries were specified, and there was no other way to do a race-free state assignment. You can also compare the cons also. Con here is that, okay, like it is the con, okay, though con is not present in say in this method, but in this method, con is that you need to include an extra state variable. Fine, we are dealing with 3 state variables. Here, our race-free state assignment was possible within 2 state variables.
So can we solve this numerical using second method? If we, we are already assigning a dummy state unspecified variable, we are assigning it as B. So can we do this numerical by second method too? Or
Yes.
is it necessary?
Yes, if you don't have any constraint regarding the state variable, so you can do it using 3 variables also, not an issue.
Okay, sir.
So this is the last and final and you can say foolproof method for race-free state assignment. So this is your one hot encoding. Okay. I'm not. Have I discussed? Okay, let me discuss first of all this completely. So this table, I hope this is making some sense. Okay, so once this table is ready, we can do the state assignment now. Okay, so all the unspecified state in between the stable states, say for example between B and C, what is the code for B? Say it is 01 and C it is 100. Okay, and F is lying in between B and C. So the Hamming distance of F from B and C, it should be 1. Say for example, B code is 001 and C is 100. Okay, so what will be the code for F? So that the Hamming distance of F from B to C, B and C both should be 1. It should be say 101. Is it okay? All the intermediate states, they should be coded in such a way that their Hamming distance from the both nodes, it should be 1. You can also see this G. C it is 100 and D it is 010. So what is the code for G? That is 110. Now you can calculate what is the Hamming distance between C and this G. It is 1. And G and D, it is also 1. Okay, so the intermediate to this state, its code should be such that its Hamming distance should be 1 from both of the involved states. Okay, so this is how we can do the this state assignment, race-free state assignment. So this is the final method of this race-free state assignment that uses one hot encoding. We have already studied this one hot encoding. What was that? This we studied in synchronous circuits. Can you recall?
So each state is given such a variable in which only one variable is 1 and all other are 0, just like ring counter type.
Yes, that is correct. So
assignment, like if we have 2 states, then it will.
Yes, it's fine. So what it is saying, if each row of the flow table is assigned a one hot code, so race-free assignment can be achieved by passing through unstable states that are at Hamming distance of 1 from the 2 stable states involved in the transition. It is similar to what we have done in this example. Okay, so let's discuss this with the example. Let's say this table is given. let's say this flow table is given, and we concluded that race-free state assignment within two variables is not possible. Okay. Now, if we have to solve this using one hot encoding, so what we'll do? Say I'm trying to draw the transition diagram. Let's say this is my A, B, C, and say D. Okay, and assume that diagonals are also present. Okay, so what I will do, I will start with assigning one hot codes to each of the stable states. These A, B, C, D, they are my stable states. So one hot code, how many state variables will it have? It will have 4. Because how many stable states are there? There are 4 stable states. Okay, so there will be 4 state variable, and each one of them will be 1 at a time. Say for example A, it will be 0, 0, 0, 1. B will be 0, 0, 1, 0. C will be 0, 1, 0, 0, and D will be 1, 0, 0. Okay, so this method is slightly expensive in terms of state variables. Okay, so we have to include more number of state variables as also, and additional unspecified state also. Now, what we'll do in order to have a race-free state assignment, we will include an unspecified state in each of the transitions. Okay, let's say this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and say J. Okay, so we have to include an unspecified state in each of the transition. Okay, now E has to be coded in such a way that AE Hamming distance is 1 and EB Hamming distance is also 1. So can I code E as 0, 1, 0, 1? 0, 1, 0, 1. Let's check. No. What will be the code for E?
0011.
0011. Zero, zero, 1, 1. Is it having Hamming distance of 1? Yes. AE it is 1, and yes, EB is also 1. Okay, and similarly, can you find the code for F? It will be
0110.
0, 1, 0, 1,
10.
1, 0. Is it so? So CF, it is also Hamming distance 1, and FP also, it is at Hamming distance 1. So in the same way, you can find the codes related to all other unspecified state, say G, H, I, and J. Okay, and the state assignment can be done. And you already know like how the output table has to be modified.
So the codes given in the table are wrong, I think.
So different है sir देखिए.
No, I'm not. First of all, it's not. I'm not saying like E is between A and B. I have just drawn it here for reference. I'm not. I don't know like whether E is between A and B or in any other node. Or
Here
in
it's in
between
between A to C, I guess.
A to C.
C. Yes, sir. In the main table, when A is
Yes.
changing from A to C, when
E.
input is 1, 0, it is written E here.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so
We need to see it as E.
yes, so it can be, you can check it by the calculating the Hamming distance.
Yes.
E, if it is 0, 1, 0, 0, yes, then it is 1, and it is 0, 1, 0, yes, also 1. So actually this is E here. Okay, this node is E. Okay, so once the nodes are finalized, so you can also find out their state assignment just by keeping this fact in mind that Hamming distance of that unspecified state, it will be 1 from both of the involved stable states. Okay, and output you already know, like how you have to modify the output table. Okay, so this is slightly expensive. Why is it expensive?
Number of states are more.
Involve more number of state variables. See, the number of states were 4 here. Okay, but we have to include the same number of state variables. So that's why circuit will be slightly complicated, or you can say like it will be slightly bigger. But the advantage will be like it will not be having any race condition. Okay.
Yes.
So if we want to implement that circuit, then we need 6 variable K-map for this particular example.
Yes,
Right.
6 variable. 6 variable.
And then if we want to, suppose we are finding the Boolean expression for Z2, then there is some unspecified Z2 outputs also there. So what we will take, 1 or
It
0?
is, no, you have to treat them as a don't care.
Okay. Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. You have to treat them as a don't care. Now that is the last topic, that is hazards. Okay, so what is hazards? So they are the glitches which are caused by either the structure of a circuit or the propagation delay. Okay, so there are two kinds of hazards, static and dynamic. Okay, so what is a static hazard? Static hazard means, say when input is changed to say one level to another. Say input is changed from one level to another, and ideally, say this is my input and this is my output. Okay, say when input is changed from one logic level to another, and as per the circuit, my output was, as mentioned, it was supposed to be a stable output. It was not supposed to change to any other level. But still, if due to propagation delays, if some glitch appears, then that is the case of static hazard. Only momentarily some glitch appears, then it is the case of static hazard. And what happens in dynamic hazard? In dynamic hazard, your circuit, it changes twice. Your logic level, it changes twice. Say when input is changed from one level to another, and say your output was supposed to change. Okay, say your output was supposed to change. This was the ideal output, but what happened? What happened? It changed from, it acquired the level, then once again a glitch appeared, and then again it acquired its set output value. Means all these glitches, they are appearing with respect to change in some input values. Okay, here input was changed from one level to another, and my output was, it was supposed to be constant, but due to effect of propagation delay, a momentarily glitch appeared. Okay, either from this 0 glitch or 1 glitch. So this is my case of static hazards. And in dynamic hazards, what happens? Like when the input is changed from one level to another, my output was also supposed to change. But what happened? My output changed. Okay, but again, due to effect of propagation delay, I got a opposite glitch only for a few moments, and then it settled down at its final value, or this case. Okay, so now these are your dynamic hazards. So you can understand the static hazard with this example. Say x2 is 1, x1 is also 1, x3 is 1. Okay, so what will be the p? P it will be 1, q will be 0, f will be 1. Right? Say now your x1 changed to say 0. Okay, so your p changed to 0 first. Okay, and it was still 0 because some propagation delay will be present in this path because of this NOT gate. Okay, so there will be a moment when P and Q both will be 0. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So there will be a moment when P and Q will be both 0 at a time. So what will be the output at that moment? It will be 0. Okay, and once again after a few moments it will again become 1 because these 0 0 it will be there only for a short period of time. Okay, so this is the case of static hazards. Okay, and how can you remove the static hazards? By including all prime implicants. Like say this is the K map for the circuit. Say this circuit, if you realize using K map, so this will be the K map where your prime implicants will be this, this and this. Okay, but if we are trying to implement the circuit using less number of gate, we will only include essential prime implicants, right? We will only include essential prime implicants. But for that case, we have to face hazards. Okay, so if you want to remove hazards, so we have to even include non-essential prime implicants also. In this case, whatever this black, the groupings, the group which is shown by this black outline, that is your essential prime implicants. And this is the minimum cost circuit, like which is including minimum least number of gates. Okay, but it has a disadvantage that what? It has to face hazards. Okay, so if you want to remove hazard, so you have to include this essential implicant which is the prime implicant which is non-essential. Okay, and the final implemented circuit will be this. So this circuit, it will be a hazard free circuit. There will be no hazard in this. And the dynamic hazard, actually they are very difficult to detect. So if you have the circuit diagram and if you go step by step by say if you include the delay of say 1 unit after each output, so at the end you will see that your function, this output, the final output of this circuit, it will show a dynamic hazard. So I'm not going to discuss this in detail because you already know like what will be the output like if logic level is changing for say your NAND gates or any other gate. Okay, only thing what you have to include is the delay corresponding to that particular gate. Okay, so dynamic hazards, they are very difficult to be detected just by looking at the circuit diagram, okay, or the K-map. It is difficult to be detected, but you can think of a dynamic hazard whenever a static hazard is present. So definitely some dynamic hazard will also be present. Okay, so that's all. So with this we have finished the module 4. Okay, and only one theory portion is remaining, which is a module which has like some short description of your PAL, programming array logic, PLA, and programming logic array, and PAL, PLA, and your FPGA, field programmable gate array. Okay, so that is the theory portion, which I think you can cover yourself. And yes, one more announcement related to your assignment. Your assignment will be posted maybe in the few coming days, and that freedom I can give that you can submit it till 21st. I will be posting your assignment maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and you have a week's time, even after your exam. I guess your exams are over on 19th, right? If your exams are over on 19th, so you can still submit the assignment on 21st. Okay, and that's all. That is a small design problem only a single question, so that you can upload on the classroom. You will get the link.
So please share today's slides.
Sure, I will share.
Okay.
Any other doubt? Anything, any doubt, any query related to your final exam?
Sir, in MCQ will be there in the